Today I'm going to count down the strongest remaining sorcerers after Sukuna's defeat in Jujutsu Kaisen. From the woman you absolutely do not want as an ex-girlfriend, to the new poster boy of the Red Cross, to the boy who died twice and came back. Anyways, we're starting off with Takuma Ino at number 13. Now that Nanami's gone, has Ino finally evolved into a grade 1 sorcerer? Ino was already on his way to being a grade 1, and the death of Nanami just pushed him further. The fact that he has enough courage to face Sukuna of all people. Bro's already proved he's got the balls to become a beast in the future. But how strong is Ino actually? Let's do a quick breakdown of his main skills. 1. Expert hand-to-hand fighter. Ino can body an average level curse user in close combat with no issues. 2. Auspicious beast summons. By covering his face with a mask, he can summon special beasts to either boost his attack power or increase his defense and mobility. Whatever the situation calls for, he has a beast for it. Nanami himself trusted Ino to clear out a big room full of transfigured humans. Ino also had the potential to finish off a weakened Mahito after fighting with Nanami and Yuji. And when you think about it, Ino could have successfully defeated that cursed grandminder grandson during the Shibuya incident until Toji showed up. And now he's inherited Nanami's will and his blunt sword. So now he can murder cursed spirits with Nanami's ratio technique. But compared to the rest of the people on this list, Ino's still way underpowered. I mean, sure, Ino can probably take on someone like Hana, who doesn't have serious physical combat abilities, but one hit from Jacob's ladder and he's gone. At number 12 we have Nobata, our Uno reverse queen card, with a surprise comeback. She had us in the first half. There was so much theory about Nobata's death that many of us were huffing copium and hopium at the same time. But when she did come back, we went wild. Sukuna didn't even know what hit him. Bro, resonance is such an OP skill. Like, it's basically a homing missile that comes with a cursed energy tracking system. As long as Nobata has a piece of you, or anything you own, she can disable you with her straw hat doll technique from miles away. Please God, do not let any of my exes get a hold of this technique. Anyway, sounds like witchcraft, doesn't it? Does this mean Nobata is related to witches? According to the official fanbook, it was Nobata's grandma who taught her the straw doll technique. So clearly, the family could have been practicing sorcery and witchcraft for a while now. But her grandma also wasn't cool with Nobata attending Jujutsu High. Why is that? I didn't make a video about this, by the way, but in short, I think Nobata's mom is a special grade sorcerer who could either be 1. Working on an important mission, 2. Hiding to protect her family, or 3. Is a high-ranking Jujutsu official. So what does that mean for Nobata? Potentially, Nobata could become even more powerful in the future with guidance from her mom. Currently, Nobata has a handicap due to her losing an eye. She wouldn't be able to keep up as much with Yuji and Megumi anymore, especially now that they both got the full Sukuna experience. She has the power, but until she gets another, I think, powerful mentor or like a life-changing training arc, Yuji and Megumi are gonna leave her in the dust, I think. Unless she goes through another near-death experience and unlocks the secrets of the universe like Gojo did. And number 11, what if I told you that one of the sleaziest, scummiest characters in JJK is also one of the strongest? We've seen Meimei be a cunning, bad beach, with how she deleted the smallpox spirit that Kenjaku left to destroy her in Ui Ui in Shibuya. I mean, that smallpox hag was a special great curse, and it only takes a few seconds for it to kill its target. But Meimei too quick though, tricking the curse into trapping Ui Ui instead and used a crow to blast a hole through its face. Even before that, she made light work of Niji, the curse user who carried around that weird dog in his chains. Even Kenjaku was impressed she had dealt with him so quickly. But what makes her so sleazy and scummy though? Well, for one, because she literally ran away after the fight with the smallpox spirit. And where did she go off to? To a hotel in a different country where she was calling her broker to sell her stocks in Japan. While the entire Shibuya went to trash, she was relaxing in Malaysia and drinking champagne. And don't even get me started on that scene with Ui Ui on the bed. Like, bro, what the flower is going on there? Also, during the fight with Sukuna, she was basically safe inside Rika, letting others do the dirty work, while she acted like a CCTV camera in 4K. Like, the hell are you doing just chilling there? But if she really is that bad, why would she help the sorcerers defeat Sukuna, right? Here's what I think. You gotta understand, Meimei at the end of the day is a mercenary. So like any merc, she did it all for the money. There are 2 possible reasons why she helped. It's either 1, Gojo or some other loaded person on the team paid her bags and stacks to help them out. Or 2, she realized letting Sukuna live would eventually tank the world's economy and she'd lose all her stocks and investments. She's basically Mr. Krabs. But if she's so badass, how did she become so problematic? Bro, if you haven't realized, she was always that way. This guy proves it. Mei was always a bad character, a bad girl who's been immoral and unworthy of trust from the beginning. Mei controls her birds like how people use currency. She can spend them however she wants to attack her enemies. And it's a reflection of how she sees others as tools, something to use and play with until they are no longer useful. In a way, you could call her a user-friendly person, because she's only friendly when she can use you, or when there's money involved. This adds another layer of weirdness to her relationship with Uyui. People think they're going the Sweet Home Alabama route, but the relationship is actually more messed up. Mei keeps Uyui close and hanging on her every word, while she only sees him as a teleportation tool who will do her bidding. Mei's strength is undeniable though, and looking at it from a different angle, you can kind of understand why she makes certain decisions. At number 10 is Aoi Toto. Dude, imagine if Toto didn't lose his hand in Shibuya. We would not have found out how goated he could be. With his new Vibra Slap, he changed a ton of Boogie Woogie's conditions, which made him a god tier support. Like, bro went from doing a single swap per clap to doing 50 swaps per second. But wait, there's more. Toto can now also expand his TP range and increase the number of targets getting swapped. It's almost more accurate now thanks to Yuta's help. Like, in real life, Toto would have been able to handle entire rescue ops and evacuations on his own. Need to save tenants inside a burning building? Swap. People trapped under rubble because of an earthquake? Swap. Toto is Red Cross's new poster boy for rescue and disaster management, man. Like, tell me I'm wrong. In terms of power though, can he still keep up with Yuji? Remember the old days when Toto stomps Yuji's face into a tree and pummels him into the ground? I don't think that's possible anymore. Yuji surpassed Toto so much. He's practically the senpai now. Yuji has techniques in his arsenal that Toto could only dream of having. That said, Toto couldn't be more proud of his brother. Honestly, if Chozo was alive, he and Toto would fuss about Yuji so much, they'd get their own slice of life anime spinoff. But I guess we still don't have this mystery solved. What is Toto's obsession over Yuji? At number 9 is our strongest grade 1 sorcerer, Atsuya Kusakabe. Could the fight with Sukuna have unlocked Kusakabe's potential even more? It most likely did. Remember, Kusakabe taught the team his simple domain technique during the replacement training. After all that soul swapping, who knows what other skills and techniques Kusakabe picked up from the others. We've already seen Kusakabe counter and survive Sukuna's slash attacks, then activate his sword techniques one after the other, like Bato sword drawing and Evening Moon sword drawing. Even a broken sword didn't bother the guy. Kusakabe used his own cursed energy to create a lightsaber out of it. Clearly, the force is strong with this one. But can he still win against the youngins and be the very best like no one ever was? Kusakabe-san might be left in the dust now since the battle against Sukuna showed that there are a lot more OP sorcerers with god tier potential. I mean, I don't think Kusakabe minds. He ain't the type to be competitive after all, but the guy clearly prefers to teach and is a huge fan of staying away from life-threatening situations, as we all know. But he's already proven he's got that dog in him, willing to do what it takes to keep his students safe. Even his friends in the Jujutsu community believe Kusakabe can be a beast in battle. In the 8th spot is Hana Kurusu. If Hana was more aggressive than she was, she would have been a different kind of baddie. I mean, she's already overpowered, given that she can nullify curse techniques and drop her ultimate move, Jacob's Ladder. Like, just that first ability alone can send most curse users crawling back to their mamas. One strike and it's lights out for your curse synergy. But wait a minute, didn't one other person tank her Jacob's Ladder damage? That's right, Yuji was strong enough to survive Jacob's Ladder when it hit him and Sukuna during the Shinjuku showdown. They were even chasing each other inside it. And while she can nullify curse techniques, it wouldn't matter to sorcerers who are skilled with hand-to-hand combat like Maki, Yuji, and even Ino. If Hana's personality throughout the series is any indication, I doubt she'd want to assert dominance and become top G. So what's next for Hana? In chapter 270, we saw Hana talk to Megumi, where Mr. Riz Lord himself tried to make amends for everything and promised to be Hana's right arm. Anyone hear the wedding bells? Seriously though, Megumi's probably going to be reinstated as the head of the Zenin clan because we know Maki's already dropped that hot potato. So if Hana and Fushiguro do end up together, she'll become the new matron of the clan. But in a world where Hana is a matron of an entire clan of Jujutsu sorcerers, I wonder what that means for the future of the new Zenin clan. And given that, at number 7 we have Megumi Fushiguro. Yep, number 7. I don't know if you realize, but your boy Megumi is on the verge of the glow up of the century. Megumi's not just coming back stronger, he's basically got new cheat codes unlocked. Think about it for a second, right? He's got access to Sukuna's skills now. Yeah, Sukuna messed him up, but clearly there's silver linings. I mean, thanks Sukuna, at least you left something good behind. Plus, Sukuna showed Fushiguro the full potential of his own 10 Shadows technique. Megami's like, yo, I didn't even know I could do that. The guy's about to be summoning next level Shikigami. And then this dude is now the head of the new and improved Zenin clan too. So imagine the power boost that comes with that. Megami's stepping into his role and no one's gonna mess with him now. He's the captain now. Dude's about to hit some crazy heights. He's already a beast, but there's still much more room, I think, for him to grow even stronger. So the question is, wouldn't Fushiguro have a little bit of PTSD after all that just happened? I mean, his sister, Sukuna, just made him watch as he killed her. I mean, honestly, after the whole Sukuna situation, he's gotta be feeling some type of way, right? But here's the thing about characters like Megami, the dark ones, they don't just sit around, do they? Feeling sorry for themselves. They take the pain and turn it into fuel, like Sasuke. He is definitely on that it must never happen again mindset, straight up Sigma grind set. And number 6, let's talk about Hiromi Higuma. So I don't know if you guys realize, but Higuma became a badass sorcerer practically overnight, man. The guy is literally a genius. He understood Jujutsu sorcery the second he awakened. Like, imagine waking up one day with these crazy powers and instead of freaking out, you're like, cool, time to master this real quick. And he used his own law to create a fun Jujutsu arsenal. Like, here's a quick recap, okay? His domain expansion, Deadly Sentencing, is wild because it literally forces you into a trial for your crimes. It even forbids violence. No fighting your way out of this one. You gotta sit through the trial. 2, there's his Shikigami Judgment, who can either confiscate your cursed energy technique or hit you with a death sentence. And 3, when Higuruma's gavel gets a major upgrade into an executioner sword. If he slashes you with it, it's game over. No exceptions, no refunds. But let's talk matchups. How does Higuruma stack up against the other sorcerers? Well, we know non-cursed energy users like Maki would still be able to go toe-to-toe with him. She doesn't rely on cursed energy, so the whole confiscation thing, not a problem for her. Yuji? He's already survived the death sentence once, but that was because Higuruma stopped himself, right? So if it came down to another fight, who knows what could happen, right? Yuji's tough, but it's a toss-up, because Higuruma will have time to train, and the guy's a genius, so if he did that in days, imagine what he'll do in a year, right? Now, Higuruma versus Yuta, that's an interesting matchup. With Rika backing Yuta up and their insane power, it's hard to say if they could survive being hit by Higuruma. Rika could probably eat the executioner sword, but I wonder if that would destroy her from the inside. Would Yuta be willing to take that risk? And number 5 is Maki Zenin, the literal walking definition of gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. She's got the skills, she's got the power, she's got drive. She is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Anyways, Maki could easily become the strongest, but here's the thing, will she even want that? I mean, she's already done a lot. Avenge her sister? Check. Wipe out the Zenin clan? Double check. Like the girl cleaned house and took out the entire family tree, right? And went toe-to-toe with Sukuna and damaged his soul in the process. Triple check. So maybe she's like, yo, I've done enough, Like, internally I like Yuta, I know I can't admit it, but she might not feel the need to chase that dream anymore. She's basically confirmed this when she gave up the split soul katana to that one katana-obsessed grandpa. But then again, Yuta, she just might want to be leveling up so she can keep up with him. They've got that sort of rivalry turned potential romance vibe going on, and honestly, it's I'm liking it. It's kind of cute, in a quirky, nerdy, weird way. Speaking of which, is anyone else also hearing wedding bells for these two? I mean, is this the next power couple we've been waiting for? What's their ship name gonna be? Yutaki? Makita? Zenitsu? Wrong anime. And who's gonna be the best man? Inumaki? Yuji? And number 4, we have Fumihiko Takaba. Did you know that besides Higuruma, Takaba could also potentially surpass Gojo? But he just wants to be a comedian. Fumihiko Takaba basically disabled Kenjaku during their fight by having him go through an entire simulation of his comedy career. Except it wasn't just a simulation, I think. The man actually rewrote reality with anything he wanted for comedy. And it doesn't even actually have to be funny. Like, as long as he thinks it's hilarious, he can make it happen. Like, he's basically immortal in the fantasy bubble he creates with his opponents, and he can make them and himself go through comedic situations as he fights them. So where is he now? In chapter 270, we saw him training a new recruit in the art of comedy. It's basically him teaching the newbie of the do's and don'ts of effective comedy. Does this hint that he won't be practicing jujutsu anytime soon? Maybe. I doubt he'll try to develop his techniques for fights in the future. He can level up his comedy career with jujutsu, sure, but I don't think he's gonna throw hands with any sorcerer. And forget about that for a second, did you notice something about Takaba's new recruit? We couldn't really see who this guy was, but that man bun looks sus, bro. It's so freaking familiar. I just can't quite put my finger on it. And number 3 is a painfully underused character in the series, Kenji Hakari. Kenji, like Mei, is also business-minded. He's not sleazy though. He's just addicted to the thrill of gambling. I mean, so am I. Just not gambling with my money. I like gambling with my life. Skydiving, cliff jumping, things like that. Anyway, now we know he's strong, but can Kenji become the strongest sorcerer? Kenji was powerful enough to beat Urame, who is basically Jujutsu Elsa. And his domain Idle Death Gambo has so much potential, it's bonkers. Kenji's basically immortal when the right conditions activate in his domain, and he can loop it as many times as he wants. With that kind of luck, he's probably gotten kicked out of casinos many times. But I don't think he can take on someone like Yuta head to head. Rika could just bite off an arm, and Yuta will be able to copy his technique and turn it against him. Now Kenji and Takaba would be an interesting matchup. Takaba again can rewrite reality around him, so he could basically force Kenji's technique to create a funny but bad outcome. But Kenji seems to have Lady Luck on his side, so he might still pull off a W. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but Kenji is a subtle reference to a famous character in a Hollywood movie, Tyler Durden from Fight Club. How? Kenji was a student from Jujutsu High who beat up a higher up he butted heads with. Suspended after the incident, he left Jujutsu High and decided to use his talents to get money, becoming a bookie for an underground fighting ring. I mean, the frilly jacket and the eyebrow slit, they look like twins. Sitting at numero dos is the heart and soul of the squad and easily the best boy in the series, Yuji Tadori. Would you believe me if I told you that Yuji is the best person to lead the Jujutsu Sorcerers into a new age? Hear me out, I'm cooking. First, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. Since Gojo Sensei's gone, RIP legend, everyone's been wondering, who's gonna be the strongest now? It's pretty much a toss-up between Yuji and Yuta, like they're both out here flexing some serious power. But it's hard to say who's really on top. Here's the thing though, Yuji's got more than just raw strength going for him. This guy has shown some serious leadership vibes. Let me break it down. 1. He's responsible. He always takes on the toughest tasks without hesitation. And he even shouldered on his conscience the death and the destruction of Shibuya, even when clearly it was Sukuna who did all of it. 2. He's emotionally intelligent. You can tell Yuji cares deeply about everyone around him. Dude's got a heart of gold and he's not afraid to let people know. 3. He has the drive to help and save others. He's out here, always putting others first and always trying to save as many people as he can. Hero energy. He's tough and stubborn. He gets knocked down, but Yuji's getting right back up every time. He's annoyed the hell out of Sukuna. Sukuna's like, why won't you just die, brat? 5. He's wicked strong now. We've seen it time and time again, but his strength is more than just physical, it's mental too, right? Who else has the balls to tell Sukuna that he's pitiful? Like, god dang, Yuji easy on the sauce. What about Yuta though? Doesn't he surpass Yuji? Yuta might have the edge on Yuji when it comes to pure strength and jujutsu expertise. I mean, Yuta's been out here pulling crazy stunts and showing off some serious curse energy control. Let's not forget, he's got Rika backing him up, which is no joke. But Yuji's got some things that put him ahead, especially when it comes to leadership. Where Yuta's more of a lone wolf, Yuji's always been about the squad, about teamwork. His empathy and resilience give him that edge in understanding others and pushing through the toughest situations. If there's anyone who's got the mix of strength, heart, and leadership to take the Jujutsu Sorcerers into the future, it's this guy, because he's got the full package. Finally taking the number 1 spot on our list is Yuta Kotsu. Okay, let's talk real for a second. Yuta's been through some heavy stuff. He's literally died twice, and both times our best Shikigami Rika came through and saved him. The real question is, how's that gonna mess with Yuta and his techniques? Like, aren't there only so many times you can die and come back? Right? Like, that's gotta leave some kind of mark. But when you think about it, what happened to Gojo in the past? After Toji skewered him in the neck. He came back stronger. Well, a little insane, but stronger. One thing's for sure though, Yuta went beyond his limits. He stretched his powers to the absolute max and then some. So is Yuta really the next Satoru Gojo? I think he's closer than you think. Yuta totally flexed in his fight with Sukuna. Like, he showed us he's not just strong, he's crazy versatile. I made a recent video about this too. Yuta unleashed technique after technique on Sukuna without letting up. Dude's got range, and he knows how to use it. He even managed to pilot Gojo's body and fire off some spicy limitless attacks. Yuta's got more potential than ever before. So if anyone's gonna reach Gojo level, it's gotta be him. Now, if that is the case, then why wasn't Yuta the MC in the first place? So here's the deal. Before Yuji was even a thought, Yuta was actually Gege Akutami's original main character. That's right, your boy Yuta was supposed to be the face of Jujutsu Kaisen. Back when Volume 0 was written, shonen anime and manga had this trend where the MC started off super strong, if not completely OP, and that's why Yuta was insanely powerful right off the bat. Here's the catch though, people started getting bored of that real quick. Fast forward to when Yuji Tadori was created, and there was a shift in the shonen genre. Fans were looking for something different. They wanted characters who didn't start off OP but instead had more realistic progress in their abilities. They wanted to see the struggle, the growth, the hard work. So Yuji wasn't born special, and he doesn't instantly overpower his enemies. We watch him learn, evolve, and earn his strength. And that's a big reason why Yuji resonates so much with today's audience. It shows how much growth Yuji had, and the amount of contribution Yuji had single-handedly towards stopping Sukuna in comparison to the other sorcerers.